Roy Smith is our marketing analyst this week. The USDA Monday released its latest estimates on supply and demand. Domestically, the agency lowered ending stocks by increasing corn exports. In soybeans, it held firm at its ending stocks number of 150 million bushels. Internationally, the USDA increased Brazil's soybean production from 89 to 90 million metric tons. It also lowered Argentina's output from 54.5 to 54 million metric tons. Roy joined us Wednesday afternoon to look at the recent run in soybeans, the cash market for corn, and the February crop report.
It was a little bit of a shock to most people, I think, not necessarily to me specifically, but the reports that we've had since the first of the year have been just a little bit bullish for corn and for soybeans. You know, we're already tight on the soybean supply,
Yeah.
And so you know the fact that it really confirmed that in fact those numbers are pretty good, I think is very encouraging.
Let's talk about the recent run that beans have had since July, and a lot of that came last week. Should that have been surprising as you look back on your historical charts?
Not really. What we expect on the soybean chart this time of the year is a trend down into the end of December or 1st of January, and then a little bit of a rally, kind of up and down a little bit before we get into the February time period, which is where we are now. We used to have what we call the John Deere low, which was a pretty pronounced low market in the middle of February. Well, the last 3 or 4 years it hasn't been quite like that, but we still kind of expect some trend down into about the 1st of February, and then a little bit of a rally, and hopefully that'll be a time for people that want to sell some beans to get some sold, although that's not a general recommendation of mine.
Yeah, I know a wise man who says you don't sell beans in February. Now, that wise man is also wearing only a suit coat out shooting outside in the winter. So what do you say to that?
I say I spent the day in a mine workshop and a marketing in a new era workshop, and sort of got caught off guard here by wanting to film in the snow.
That's all Curtis. There's only Curtis. What about the beans part? Do you think selling in February might be applicable this year?
I really don't think so. I think the bean supply is tight enough, and we have somewhat of a handle on what the South American crop is going to be. They've got some of their crop harvested, and you know, my expectation is that we could see this rally continue on up into March or April. Now, just like with corn, don't expect a earth-shaking move, but just to see it gradually eat its way up out of this hole that we've been in would be very encouraging.
The one thing I'll ask you about South America is this uncharted territory if both Brazil and Argentina produce a record crop?
If both of them would produce a record crop, I think that, you know, it's a very unusual situation. It could happen. You know, it's hard to judge by what you hear and commentaries and marketing reports and stuff just how big that crop really is. The last week of 2013, everybody was expecting prices to be down and then go down some more, and what we've seen is kind of a general turnaround. So, you know, I look at the South American crop, and it's going to be coming online here. They're having some trouble moving it, and maybe some of the prices weren't, or yields weren't as big as what they thought. So I'm not that pessimistic on corn or soybeans, either one right now, not expecting anything big, but maybe stabilizing here in a gentle rally, I guess I'd call it.
Let's move into corn. It's still hanging above $4 cash. Is this an opportunity that maybe you would start to sell into?
I think anytime you get weather that allows you to travel the roads and get into those bins, it's an opportunity to sell some corn, especially after we've had about a 16-cent rally from the bottom, which was back towards the 1st of January. In fact, I think it was the first trading day in January. So, you know, any kind of a rally like that is a time to be making some sales. There's a lot of corn out there, and some of it needs to start moving just any time now.
Update me on what basis numbers look like in your area of Cass County for both soybeans and corn.
basis in Cass County hasn't really changed any since the last time we talked. Not spectacular, but a lot better than it has been in some previous years when we've had big crops or high prices. So, you know, you watch that basis. If the basis would start to back off a little bit, it might be a signal that it's time to get a little more aggressive in making those sales.